But all the information I share tonight has been cleared by officials. I made sure of it. July 19th, a payment was sent to a vendor who had done work for the schools. That payment was found to be fraudulent, and law enforcement was notified on July 24th. On July 25th, both the school board and the board of supervisors were made aware. Less than 2 weeks later, the political grandstanding began. There is an open police investigation on this issue. I trust the police to conduct a thorough, in-depth investigation that will lay out exactly what happened, and then we will move swiftly to fix the issues. This is not about a blue turf field that no extra fees were paid for to make it blue. This is not about a whistleblower. The schools reported a crime to the authorities. This is not about transparency. This is about politicians who think they know better than the police and have put an investigation in jeopardy. This is about the lack of integrity from Mr. McLaughlin and a board member on this board. Not only did they leak that a theft had occurred, but Supervisor McLaughlin had put it out to the general public, completely false information. A payment was made, a crime was discovered, and authorities were notified. It did not take a month to notify the Board of Supervisors about the crime. It took a day. The county and the schools are audited by an independent agency each year. Results are public record, and a presentation at a joint session with the findings is televised each year. The supervisors hold the purse strings. If they feel so strongly that we need more audits besides the ones we already do, when did they motion for more audits? Never. The school board has never said no to an audit. The schools and the Board of Supervisors discussed the need for independent auditor on staff in the work session April 29th, 2018. As patterned for Mr. McLaughlin, no funding for the position appeared and no position on the county side either. No motion at all. The Board of Supervisors also has a Citizen Budget Review Committee. This committee is made up of citizens appointed by the Board of Supervisors to review the budget's spending and come up with recommendations for the Board of Supervisors. To date, the CBRC has not found any waste in the school budget, and the recommendations for an internal auditor has not been funded for school or county. The schools have answered their questions over the years, spending hundreds of man-hours to explain, answer in depth. There is complete transparency in our school system's budget. You just have to know where to look for it. It is online. The crime. Authorities will let you know what occurred and how to prevent it in the future when the investigation concludes, which is why confidentiality is essential in order to not compromise the integrity of the case. Conflating a theft with a legitimate public function of government spending is a slimy way to grandstand. Contrary to what was published in a recent op-ed, hearings were held in 2014 on the school's CIP. The artificial turf was number 3 on the frequently asked questions list published with the bond literature. At least 7 Q&A meetings around the county were held prior to the vote in 2014. The public did have input. The school board did due diligence to address concerns of the public, and it was 5 years until the first field was installed. The turf has been included in the CIP, easily found on the school's website, since the voters' approval. It has been approved each year by every sitting board member on each board at some time, as well as approved by the voters since it was specifically listed in the bond literature as item 3. In fact, just last year, Supervisor McLaughlin made the motion for the approval of the school's CIP on May 22nd, 2018. The motion passed 6-1. He voted for it. He also declared that we should install all 5 fields in the same year. The school board budget and other financial documents are published online. The fiscal year begins on July 1st, and the budget is online by September. Hard copies are available if asked. This timeline is the same for most systems due to the size and the timeline from state funding. Because the state does not have final numbers to the schools until July, the numbers are not input into the budget, then the budget takes time to get in the final process to put online. I know this is a lot of information, but I have to address these ridiculous and false claims from the Chancellor Supervisor. He asked where the money goes. We tell him each year, but since he misses so many joint meetings, the money goes into pay, benefits, and additional mandated positions. CIP money goes into technology, buses, facilities. That's where the money goes. They are detailed, colorful graphs presented each year for him to read. Despite the alternate facts shared recently in the local news source that has become a source of partisan gossip instead of ethical journalism, the fact remains Spotsylvania County Public Schools is still in the bottom third in the state of per pupil expenditures in Virginia. The local transfer as a percentage of general fund revenue is decreasing every year under their watch. And we so operate on a bare bones level in administration, we rank in the bottom 2% of administrator to pupil ratio in the state. We are, however, fully accredited. Academic successes improve each year, and we have the superintendent of the year as the school division's leader. If you fell for this political ploy, by the supervisor candidate and also current supervisor and chancellor, that was all a scheme to distract the public from his S-Power vote and from the fact that his property attorney was the attorney for S-Power, that's okay. It's not unreasonable to expect a newspaper to report facts. But now that you know, all I ask from the public is that you question facts. Look them up. Ask someone. Ask someone else. Get more than one opinion. Get more than one source. Demand more from your local representatives. Demand honesty. Demand performance. Demand that they don't share confidential information during a criminal investigation. Demand they don't operate an anonymous Facebook page that spews lies. For heaven's sake, you can even expect a reasonable attendance record. Expect that the people you will vote for will uphold their oath of office and execute all of their duties in an impartial manner. Impartial manner. That is in our oath of office. Expect it.